Many who are into the political machinery of the times believe that it's all ego. See? Part of it is ego, there's no doubt. But a good part of it is a wave. See? It's a wave. A wave. People are moved by these waves. And so you have the before, and then you have the after wave. And we have to pay attention to the before certain things happen, and then the after things happen. So you can see exactly what the purpose is of certain things going on, and what their effects are, so to speak. See? It's part of your dance, the dance wave. So a candidate could be considered bad by some people's standards and could be 100% pure. See? Under other conditions. And some person can be considered, great, right, the best candidate, but under certain conditions not be able to handle it. This is both before and after. When we're talking about things like the government, there's other factor nobody talks about. The spirits. You have the spirits of the nation, you have the spirits of the forefathers, and you have the spirits of the planets here. Because this is not a planet that has been operating completely by its own, let's say ego. Other beings have interrupted the flow here on the earth many times, see, to affect the course of direction, see, in one or another country, because they're guardians. If you're sensitive, you know that's the case. See, see. It's not just the will of the people, it's also by way of the influence of the guardians. See.
So is that in a sense like talking about the zeitgeist, the spirit of the times people refer to?
Well, that's a general, let's say, conceiving of it. General. But it's more fine than that. See? So it's more like the pendulum, which way it sways. See? The swaying of the pendulum. The for and against. For these things, against those things, and then for these things and against those things. This and that. These and those. Yeah. Yeah. Back and forth. Like the tides. See? It's like the universe. Universal tides. See? In every case you need to know who you are, and you need to awaken yourself. To depend on the social is to neglect and sometimes negate the individual. You're here as an individual to have a realization. Not by political or because of political, let's say, programming. Despite political programming and the times you need to awaken to your true inheritance and purpose. See, this time around. That makes any sense to anyone.
So would you say that something like the civil rights movement was a case of individuals realizing enough is enough, a certain type of treatment, and then forming sort of a collective consciousness?
We are talking about the spirit of justice in that case. And in many cases the spirit of justice shows up as one and or as a group. But it's the same spirit. It is the spirit of justice. And it brings justice to those who are ready for it. And all beings are the same being. But humanity has a ways to go before it realizes something that was way back then, true, is still true and will forever be true. Here, now, and always.
So then, if all beings are one being, are the conflicts between individuals?
Be careful when you say that, because that's true, but it's also has to be realized. Otherwise, it's just a theory. It's an assumption or a presumption. One being. At what level is the all being one being? That's the issue. It's not to be assumed anyway other than the real. We have the potential of the same one being, whether you call it God or spiritual or whatever. It's not personal. It can show up in persons, but it's impersonal. It's universal. To the degree that we see it as a universal phenomenon, reality, then we have the potential of realizing it for what it is. Whether that's Christhood or Buddha nature or whatever you want to call it, Buddha nature.
So then, is conflict with others merely a manifestation of conflict within oneself?
To a certain degree, but not necessarily simplistically speaking. People are at war now. It's got nothing to do with you being at war. We can watch it, put the TV on. We're having a good time. We're in the middle of a party. They say, well, that's not me over there. I'm not shooting anybody's brains out. I would never have it that way. So what are you talking about? So not necessarily so. These are good, let's say, theories. It's a theory. And under certain conditions, that is exactly what you're experiencing. But under other conditions, you're not experiencing anything. Because there's no one there to experience anything. And warfare, like non-warfare, is a mind form. And you can be beyond that. It's a nightmare. And you have to awaken from it. Wake up from that. Wake up to higher purpose. Can you do that?
I hope so.
Okay.